The Golden State Warriors, an NBA best 23-5. Their latest win comes at Madison Square Garden, 105-96 on a night Steph Curry becomes the all-time three-point maker in league history as Curry hit 5 threes in all in helping the Warriors best the Knicks. And that puts him at 2,977. How about that for Steph Curry? In his 789th career game, Steph Curry is now the all-time three-point maker in league history, passing Ray Allen's mark. And again, shows you how much this game has changed. He did it in his 789th game. Steph Curry, no player in league history has hit more three-pointers than the Golden State Warriors sharpshooter. Let's get some perspective on this. Bring in Bill Reiter, Avery Johnson for that perspective. And we expected this to happen. It's the Mecca. It's Madison Square Garden. Steph Curry on his third attempt of the night breaks the mark again. He hit 5 in all. So, Bill, what was your reaction to the night at Madison Square Garden?
You know, even though this was clearly anticipated, and I think we all knew it was going to happen on this evening, I was still, like Steph Curry in that moment, overwhelmed by the magnitude and the history of what he's accomplished, and just struck by the fact that it's at the real temple of basketball in this country, where Steph Curry, a decade ago, had a sort of coming out party when he had 50-plus points against the Knicks. This is one of the great players in the history of the game, and a crowning achievement at one of the most important places in the game.
Yeah, I agree with Bill. What a better place, especially what's going on in the world over the last 18 months, the joy that Steph Curry brings to so many people. And to see Ray Allen, his dad, Dell Curry in attendance, and all of the fans, I think this is going to be one of the highly watched games in the NBA this year. So it's just a joy to see such an ambassador for the game on and off the court, an incredible family man, superstar that allows his coach, Steve Kerr, one of my former teammates, to coach him. I think this was a win, especially what's going on with some of the NBA teams like the Chicago Bulls who have had games canceled because of health protocols. This was such a win and a feel-good story for the NBA tonight.
It's so interesting in terms of how much this game has changed. But, Avery, I'm going to start with you on this one because you not only played in the league, but you coached in the league as well. When you watch Allen and Miller play, because you played against them, and you see Steph Curry play, what comes to mind in terms of maybe how he's taken the three-point shot to another level?
Well, he's more of a volume shooter. You know, those guys obviously were threats from behind the three-point line, but it was a different era. And I just love the way, Reggie Miller's calling the game as an analyst. Ray Allen is there. And look at appreciation and how Steph Curry broke Ray Allen's record in such a shorter amount of games. But it's a different era. It doesn't mean that one person is better than the other. It's just different. And I love the celebration and the love that the old school and the new school, how they've all come together. You got to remember, guys, when I first, got an opportunity to play in the NBA, there were no cell phones and fax machines, and there was no internet. But now, in social media, it's a different world now. It doesn't mean that one world is better than the other, but I love the respect from all the different generations.
The coach is so right. When Shaq is praising a three-point shooter, something magical has happened. And you guys are right. It's a different era. Steph Curry has the green light to shoot three-point shots whenever he wants to. Ray Allen talked before the game, joked about how if he shot a three early in the game, his coach might pull him out early in his career. But you've got the perfect, really the greatest three-point shooter in the history of the game who meets the three-point era. And that's part of being an all-time great. Magic and Bird defined an era, and it defined, in some ways, them. Same for Jordan. Same for LeBron as a positionless player. I'd say Dirk Nowitzki, even though he's maybe not a top 10 player of all time, is on that list. And Steph Curry, the greatest three-point shooter of all time, who arrived at a point when the math and the analytics of the game and the way it was trending, he pushed in that direction, maybe at warp speed, turned the three-point shot into this ultimate weapon. And I'll say this, Ray Allen, one of the great shooters of all time. Reggie Miller, one of the great shooters of all time. Ray Allen, 40% from three in his career. Steph Curry, who, by the way, often creates his own shot, often shoots off the dribble, right? Those are not high percentage shots for most people. 43% from the three-point line in his career. He's the greatest at that all time for a reason. He defines the era, and I think he really pushed us to where we are in terms of this style of basketball.
Yeah, Bill, we talked about that a little earlier in terms of how he's changed the game from a legacy standpoint. I mean, he's made the shot a good shot, a shot that most teams put in their playbook. I think Reggie Miller said on the pregame show, teams average 34 threes league-wide now. So with regards to him not necessarily being a pioneer, but his legacy of the game, changing the game and making the three-point shot a focus of offenses, what could you say about Steph Curry along those lines, Bill?
Yeah, Coach, don't jump out of your chair here, because it is, again, the not just how often, the volume at which he does it, but the efficiency for me. And there's a ways to go. But if the Warriors win an NBA championship this year or next year, and the Lakers don't win another one with LeBron, Steph will have as many championship rings as LeBron James. We'll see what happens, but he's certainly one of the betting favorites for good reason to be the MVP. I am a voter for that award, and if the season ended today, I'd vote for him. That would give him his third MVP. I think Steph Curry's already a top 12, 15 player of all time. I think there's 12, 15 guys that are clustered together. If he wins another ring, he's the greatest shooter of all time. I would argue, unlike LeBron, he's turned two players into Hall of Famers, and he never left Golden State. Not a shot at LeBron James, but Curry created what he's done at the same place he was drafted, never left. Yeah. I think there's a chance that he's one of the 5 best players in the history of the game. Maybe.
And I agree with you, Bill. And I think your last point is critical. Or the point before one of the top 7 players or whatever in the NBA. The way Steph Curry's played for one team. And I agree with you. For older players and retired players like myself, that really resonates with us. You know, when a guy like David Robinson and Tim Duncan and Dirk Nowitzki can just play with one team, Kobe Bryant, you know, and LeBron obviously went hunting a little bit and, went with the big 3 in Miami, and it was great. It's an incredible story. Went back to Cleveland and now with LA. But when you stay with one team through the good, bad, and ugly, and you're able to win, championships, it just does something in terms of the eyes and voters and how you viewed. So right now, in my opinion, Michael Jordan is the greatest player to ever win to play in the NBA. LeBron second. Steph Curry's making a move. Kevin Durant's making a move. And they're making a move for different reasons. Obviously, Durant's won with Golden State. He's trying to, kind of recapitulate a lot of that same magic with the Brooklyn Nets. But what Steph Curry's doing for his size compared to a 6'7", 265-pound LeBron James, 7-foot Kevin Durant, man, Steph Curry is amazing, and he deserves to be celebrated tonight.
Yeah, Bill, to back that point, the odds right now have Steph a plus 120 for MVP in the league. But, Avery, I want to get your perspective from a coach's perspective here. We touched on this earlier. How much of this is about a sigh of relief for Steph and the Warriors that the record he's now passed by, and they can focus on team and moving forward in terms of continuing to get wins? It felt like this was kind of weighing on him leading up to the record.
Yeah, it can become part of a burden. And I know Steph was really questionable in terms of whether he was going to rest on Monday night at Indiana. I'm glad he played, because had he not played at Indiana, then he's probably not going to break the record tonight in Madison Square Garden. So really give Steve Kerr credit. Who knows? He may have some rest in his next game and sit out to get himself to recalibrate a little bit. But give Steve Kerr and his coaching staff credit and management. I was really excited that one of my old coaches who drafted Steph Curry, Larry Riley, was in attendance tonight with Steph's head coach from Davidson. This was the guy who drafted Steph Curry one spot ahead of the New York Knicks, actually, was drafting next. But again, I love the way Steve Kerr and his coaching staff and management managed this whole situation. I know they're glad it's over. Now they can get back to just playing basketball, and it will take some pressure also off some of his teammates.
Yeah, Jim, I'm with Coach on this. There's a burden that comes with carrying and shouldering this level of history. And Steph Curry and Steve Kerr were honest, which we love in the media, but did say a couple games ago when he needed 16, which is a lot of three-point shots in a game, yeah, maybe I can make it. Maybe he can make it. And Steph talked about the fact he regretted that. And you could see a couple games ago when he needed that number to get to the record to pass Ray Allen. He came out, he forced some shots. The relief, the emotion, I totally agree. It's a magical moment. It's an amazing moment. But the Warriors are actual championship contenders. I think they're the best team in the NBA. They're certainly in the conversation. And to get past this record and be able to focus on winning basketball, that's probably a relief for every single guy and every single coach in that locker room.
That's Bill Reiter, Avery Johnson, our NBA men in the know on the night. Avery Johnson, he watches Steph Curry break the all-time three-point mark in league history. And this is game likes game right here. LeBron James tweeting, just landed in Dallas. See at Steph Curry 30, broke the record to make it even doper that he did it in the Garden. Yes, the Mecca. Congrats, brother. Incredible.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.